The watch law. Don't let extra marks mess up your rhythm. It's 7 a.m. in a Manhattan apartment, and Lillian is staring blankly at her phone. 3 time management apps are bombarding her with reminders. App A says she should answer emails first. App B puts prep for the morning meeting at the top. App C is flashing a red alert that screams, prioritize the client proposal. Half an hour later, she's sitting at her desk with 0 emails answered, 0 progress on the proposal, and nothing but messy arrows scribbled on a piece of paper. Sound familiar? It's the kind of dilemma we've all faced. When there are too many right answers in front of you, you can't even make the simplest choice. Behind this struggle lies a powerful psychological principle: the watch law. The core idea of the watch law comes from a classic experiment by psychologist Peter Blau. When participants wore just one watch, 98% could state the exact time. But when they wore 2 watches showing different times, the accuracy plummeted to 34%. Even worse, 17% of people got so caught up in comparing the 2 watches that they forgot to even pay attention to the actual time. Later, this phenomenon evolved into a universal rule. If a person or organization has 2 conflicting sets of rules, goals, or values, they'll end up confused and stuck. Like following 2 different signs in a maze, you just spin in circles. This isn't just about telling time. It gets to our natural need for certainty. Our brains are wired to follow one clear reference point. Extra standards. They're just blades that split your decisions apart. When it comes to personal choices, the watch law often mixes with cognitive dissonance theory to create hidden mental stress. Take Mark, a young designer in San Francisco. He had a classic dilemma. A big tech company offered him a high-paying job doing standardized interface design, stable promotion track included, and an independent studio invited him to explore cutting-edge artistic styles, total creative freedom. He tried to have the best of both worlds, working at the tech company during the day, then pulling all-nighters to finish projects for the studio. 3 months later, the tech company criticized his designs for lacking creativity, and the studio dropped him for missing deadlines. Worst of all, he started wondering if he was even cut out for design. That's classic cognitive dissonance. When you chase 2 conflicting goals, your brain fights between, I have to nail both, and I can't nail both. That conflict turns into self-doubt and anxiety. In the end, Mark quit the tech job to focus on independent design. 6 months later, he won an international award with his Urban Light and Shadow series. His story proves it. When life gives you 2 watches showing different times, you don't learn to read both. You pick one and take the other off. Let the remaining one be your only guide. In business management, the watch law often becomes a goal conflict trap, and it directly goes against the autonomy need in self-determination theory. A smart home company in Silicon Valley learned this the hard way. Back in 2021, they launched 2 core projects at the same time. The product team led one, launch a cheap entry-level model in 3 months to grab market share. The R&D team led the other, polish high-end features to set a tech benchmark. Both shared supply chains and R&D resources, but their KPIs were total opposites. The product team was judged on units sold, the R&D team on tech patents. The result: the supply chain bought cheap chips to meet the low price goal, which broke the R&D team's high-end features. The R&D team kept adjusting designs to test new features, which delayed the product team's production. 6 months later, neither project worked, and the company lost 12% of its market share to competitors. It wasn't until a new CEO took over, cutting the cheap model project and focusing all resources on the high-end market, that they finally turned the tide. This case shows the key to management. Employees need clear, consistent goals to feel in control of their work. If leaders set 2 conflicting standards, employees get stuck wondering who to please and lose their drive. Eventually, the whole organization's efficiency crashes. In education, the watch law often shows up as excessive expectations, and it hurts kids' intrinsic motivation. Sarah, a middle school teacher in a Boston suburb, noticed something weird with her top student, Emily. Her math grade dropped from an A+ to a B. She lost 2 piano competitions in a row, and even her once amazing paintings started looking lazy. When Sarah dug deeper, she found Emily's parents had set 3 must-achieve goals: make it to the state math competition finals, pass the level 10 piano exam, and get a recommendation letter from an art school. Each had a strict timeline. Her weekends were packed with tutoring, piano lessons, and art workshops. Self-determination theory says when too many goals are forced on you, your intrinsic motivation fades. Emily used to love math for its logic and piano for its melody, but under her parents' pressure, learning turned into just checking boxes. Sarah talked to the parents, who agreed to pause piano and art so Emily could focus on math. 3 months later, Emily's math grade bounced back. Even better? She started painting again on her own, and began visiting art museums on weekends. This proves it: more watches in education aren't better. Cutting extra standards helps kids get their love of learning back, and keeps them from getting lost under pressure. In life, we've all probably worn multiple watches, without realizing it. Wanting both stability and high pay at work, trying to balance family and me time at home, or trying to master multiple skills while learning. But the watch law teaches us, real wisdom isn't learning to read all the watches, it's learning to take off the extra ones. Lock in your core goals, cut conflicting standards, and you'll find a clear direction in life. It's like a ship at sea: if you follow 2 lighthouses, you'll drift off course. Only when you lock onto one light source will you reach the shore. Don't let extra marks mess up your rhythm. Focus on the one watch that's right for you, and you'll carve out a clear path of your own.